It is the season in the Koshkonong Prairie when we needed rain. Past couple of days it's been raining, and the fields, which really needed it, are now definitely going to have enough water to have a good growing season. But a lot of people ask about the Koshkonong Churches, and I wanted to take this opportunity to simply explain a little bit. East Koshkonong Church was established in 1844. There's another video that I'll post that will show the original worship location of the East Koshkonong congregation. But East and West Koshkonong were established at approximately the same time. East Koshkonong is located not too far from Cambridge, Wisconsin. West Koshkonong is somewhat north and a little bit east of Stoughton, Wisconsin. They were established at the same time under the leadership of J.W.C. Dietrichson, a pastor from Norway. And I'll take the time to read this sign to you as we look at it. Koshkonong Prairie, with its twin churches at both East and West Koshkonong, is one of the focal points from which Norwegian Lutheranism spread to many parts of the American continent. In 1844, at the request of pioneer Norwegian immigrants, newly ordained Johannes Wilhelm Christian Dietrichson came to Koshkonong from Norway. Under his leadership, congregations were established and log churches built at both East and West Koshkonong. During his pastorate, Dietrichson traveled widely and organized a number of other congregations in the pioneer community of Wisconsin and Illinois. Both community and church prospered with the steady flow of Norwegian immigrants. Koshkonong became known as Queen of the Norwegian settlements in America, and for a time in the 1870s, hers was the largest single parish in the Norwegian Lutheran Church, numbering over 4,300 members in the several congregations. As a result of the predestination controversy in the 1880s, both the Koshkonong congregations split, resulting in 4 congregations in place of the former 2. The merger of 3 Norwegian church bodies in 1917 largely restored spiritual unity to the Koshkonong community. But of course, the 2 churches that you're seeing here on the video, the upper church and now as I'm walking the lower church, didn't actually come back together in 1917 when there was the spiritual restoration within the Norwegian denomination. Our churches came back together as congregations actually in 1961. We still own both church buildings, the upper and the lower Koshkonong churches. We worship in both, primarily here in the lower church, although we go up to the upper church for services 4 or 5 times per year, especially in the late spring and at Easter sunrise service. But the churches came back together in '61, and that's a real blessing. It's been something that not many churches have successfully done over the years, and we feel it's a real blessing from God that that was able to take place. The West Koshkonong churches are still part of 2 different denominations, West and Western. You can see the buildings are very well maintained. This front portion here was actually added in the 90s. It's a barrier-free access directly into the worship space. The churches are a surprise when people walk up to them or drive by because they're out in the country. You can see kind of some of the countryside here around. Parsonage, fields in most directions. And so it's a surprise to people when you're out in the country and you suddenly see 2 church buildings. Even more surprising maybe is that there are 2 more out in the country at West and Western. That usually really surprises people. As you come into the church, you can see some of the historical detail. the windows, the altar, the pulpit, we continue to celebrate worship here every Sunday at 9 a.m. and we'll continue to do so now here into the 21st century. We're about 163 years old at this point as a congregation, and by the grace of God we will continue.